Hey, welcome to the channel. I did a video a while back on how to easily hook and unhook this 3-point disc mower. And although in the video I had problems because like today it was real hot and holding the camera, hopefully I helped a few of you guys learn how to help yourself when you're hooking and unhooking these 3-point mowers. I'll tell you the secret of that video. I'll link it right now up above. But the secret is get yourself a quick hitch. And know that go ahead and hook your hydraulic hose up and put it in float so you can adjust this mower up and down. If you want to learn about that, watch this video. But after putting out that video, a lot of people asked more information about these 3-point disc mowers. What the chain's for, how to adjust them, and all that. So I thought that might be a good thing to talk about in today's video. This is the first 3-point mower I'd ever ran or hooked up. So when I started doing some research, like you probably, I had problems finding anything on actually the settings and how to hook and set these things. So let's go through it first. You'll see a chain going from the top link down to the frame of the mower. I don't know what that's called. I call it a limit chain because it limits the downward travel of the 3-point hitch. Once you get that chain set, you just lower it down to the chain's tight, and that's your up and down height. Now, how do you know where to set that? Well, let me show you this. You see this square bar? Let me get on the other side. That's better. See this square bar with a rope hook to it? You want a 1/4 inch gap in between here and here, with the mower on the ground in mowing position. So this thing pivots here, up and down, and it also pivots here at the gearbox. So when you hook it up to your tractor for the first time, you'll want to put it in the mowing position. You'll want to adjust the 3-point up and down until you have about a 1/4 inch at that gap right there. And it's pretty easy for mine. I just put the hook in different holes in the chain and just adjust that till I get a 1/4 inch. What this bar also does is limit how far it can tilt at the gearbox, at this connection right here. Let me flip this up and I'll show you. Now on most of your mowers, there's going to be a safety thing right here that you have to unlock to be able to open this canvas. Now mine's broken and I don't feel like fixing it because it's more of a hassle to have. So we flip our lid or cover, whatever you want to call it, and that might be able to tell a little bit better now. Get some of this grass out of here. This is a pivot point. This is a gearbox, and that's where your belt under here, there's a pulley and it pivots right here. This gearbox pivots right here with these 2 frame pieces. Okay, so that's one place that it pivots. And the reason it pivots there is when you go across an uneven field, it allows that mower to sit there and hold the contour. Now, it pivots back here as well. If you can see this pivot pin, it pivots there. So as your tractor goes down in holes and humps and stuff, that mower will stay on the ground. And you see the spring for that pivot. That sets how hard your mower pushes on the ground, your flotation, if you will. Now that 1/4 inch gap in that bar down here we've been talking about, when that goes tight to that, it limits how much that gearbox pivot can rotate. Now why would we want to do that? Why would we want to limit how much that can rotate? Well, I'll show you. Because when we pick up the mower, that's going to get tight. And instead of just picking up the end of the mower, when you get to the end to pick up, the whole mower will come up. Let me just fire the old 4440 up and we'll show you what I'm talking about. I'm going to speak up a little bit, and I know it's probably far from quiet, but to really show you what I'm talking about here, I'll have to do it like this. I'm going to zoom you. See that bar there? And I'm going to pull the hydraulic lever slightly back. Okay, did you see that touch that? And then let me let it back down. Zoom you out just a little bit. Now watch the mower. It's going to tilt up on the end until it hits that bar, and then the whole mower will come up. Still got the tip up because that bar is hitting. That's what's... Slowly pull it back. And then the whole, as soon as that touches, the whole mower comes up. So that way when you get to the end, you pull your hydraulic lever. I generally mow and float. And then when I come back, pull it all the way up. Now the whole mower goes up, not just the end. That limits that pivot at the mower, at the gearbox there. And once it hits that stop, now it starts pivoting back here. Now what else does that block do for us? Well, why does it have a rope tied to it? When we're going out of the field, down the road, or moving fields through a gate, whatever, we don't want it to limit there. We want it to fold all the way up. So, one-handed again, let's see if I can do this. If I pull this rope, let me see if I can do this one-handed, bear with me. Now that block's not touching. Okay, got that off of the stop. Now we'll pick up our 3-point just a little bit so it doesn't scuff the ground. I'm doing this a little slow because I'm by myself here. Now, do you see right there that little, oh, sorry, focus, that little knob sticking out? Right there. Watch as I come up. Boom, she's locked. So now we're locked in the transport position, raise our 3-point all the way up, and we're ready to go down the road. Okay, now we're at the field, next field, whatever, and we're ready to take it out of transport position. We're gonna grab this rope. Uh-oh, our rope fell. Ah! Okay, I've re-secured the rope. Now I can get my hand on it. Have to watch that. Now, see that lock right there? I'm pulling on it, it's not doing anything. Why? Because I have a little pressure on it still with the hydraulics. So I'll pull my hydraulic lever back. Make sure it doesn't have any pressure on that lock. Grab my rope for a second time. This is so much harder to do one-handed. Sorry folks, bear with me. There you go. I had to have another hand here. Okay, see my rope pulls my transport lock off, and I'll slowly let off of the hydraulics, and we're back down. Put the rope back down here. Okay, now we're in the field. We're going to let it down. Now you see that lock right there? That square piece of metal? Now what happens if we just pull it up right now? The mower's down. Sorry for the zoom in, zoom out. The mower's down, but that lock's not locked in. You gotta let our 3-point down. And as I let the 3-point down, let me get you right back in here again. As I let the 3-point down, boom. And you'll see that 3-point go down to where that limit chain stops it. And as you see, as I put it in float, it goes to about 1/4 inch. Alright, hopefully that part was clear as mud. Now, so we figured out how to tilt it up, put it in lock position. We figured out how to take it out of lock position, put it in a field position. And we figured out what to go by to get that 1/4 inch slop right there, slack right there, that gap, about 1/4 inch. Now that's Kuhn. I don't know what your mower takes. For a Krone or something, it may be different. This is on my Kuhn, but I think most disc mowers are pretty well like this, at least the setup. Next thing I want to talk about briefly is a parking stand. If you go back and watch that video again that I showed hooking and unhooking, it'll show a little bit more on this parking stand. But this clips up here, rotates down, sorry for your ears, and it's made to hit right there. So to get that parking stand to lock, you got to go up with your 3-point and down with the end of your mower. Your hydraulics, like I said, watch that hooking and unhooking video if you want to see more of that. But that parking stand goes right in there. Now, the next part I want to tell you about the 3-point disc mower is something that I like that your pull types don't have, and that's this. This is the breakaway. So in here is kind of a spring-loaded, it's got like a little spring-loaded jaw in here, and these washers all kind of act like springs to do the tension on it. And that actually, if you hit something heavy, it's a breakaway. So that's what I do like about the 3-point mowers. Let me back up a little bit. If you hit something that you weren't supposed to, and that mower will break away and go backwards right here. These two pieces, I don't know if I can show you real well, but those two pieces, you have this piece on the inside and this piece on the outside, and these slide apart. And that mower will go back 4 or 5 feet. Try to go around an obstacle. Now, I've got a barn that I like to put this thing in the winter time. I don't have a big enough shed that I can get it in up or down. I don't have a wide enough door or a tall enough door that I can put this disc mower in, but I like to park it in the winter time in the barn. And I utilize this. I take that pin out right there, and that allows that mower to go directly behind me. It's a pain. You don't want to do it every week or every couple days whenever you get done mowing with it, but it is a pain. But I can take that mower and leave that loose, take that pin out, and that mower will actually swing around behind you. And you really need help, somebody to hold the end of the mower, because there's nothing holding it. It's just swinging around crazy. But if you've got a 3-point disc mower that you can't get in the barn because your door's either not wide enough or not tall enough, you might be able to utilize that. I don't know if you notice this block of wood under the mower, and there's good reason for it. I don't know if it's in the right spot now. That was from the other day, but let me show you what that's there for. This may not be right. It's actually not bad. I could do it there. That would work. So, when it comes to lubrication on these things, there's 2 grease zerks on the drive shaft, and you gotta grease the slide on the drive shaft. But besides that, there is 2 gearboxes that you have to be concerned with. One is the bed gearbox, as you'll see where all the turtles hook to, and the other one is this gearbox right here, the first gearbox with the belt hooks to on the mower. To check that gearbox, you're going to want to come under here. Oh, see if I can get down here. And you'll see this plug right here. That's the check plug for that gearbox. And of course I use the level to get the cutter bar level, so this would come out right and be the right measurement, the right level. Next you'll see down here is a breather while you're down here. Now I don't really understand this because these are 2 separate oil checks and there's only one breather, and that's for the cutter bar. But in the book it tells to take this out and make sure that this is clear and make sure that it doesn't hold pressure. That's the breather for the cutter bed. That's the check for this gearbox right here. That's the check. Let me show you. When you rotate it up, that'll also be the drain. So you can use that as a drain when you rotate it up. And then let me show you where the fill is for that. The fill for this primary cutter bar, or this, whatever you want to call it, 90-degree cutter bar, gearbox, whatever, is right here. That's the fill. And down there's the check we looked at. So I like to get this cutter bar pretty level to check that, to make sure everything is the right level. Now our other check is going to be the gear bed. Let me show you how you check that. As you've seen, I've taken and put the cutter head in the upright transport position. Here is the check plug for that. You'll go down this dirty hole that I have to clean out when I decide to empty it. Down below, that is the drain hole. Piece of advice: you can't check the cutter head oil or the gearbox oil for the cutter bed, whatever you want to call it, till the oil runs down. So what I like to do, I'm going to check this oil. I like to set the tractor here the night before that I'm going to go cut with it. And I like to let all the oil run down and check it in the morning. Reason being, if you try to check it right now that I just stood it up, it'll show low every time. It takes a while for all that oil to run down and get at the right level there. I didn't mention that our canvas folded up. That is necessary to fold this up. If you don't fold your canvas up, what'll happen is that canvas will come in contact with your right side tire. Speaking of our right side tire, we need to set our cutter bar to track correctly behind the tractor. We don't want the tire running over hay. And one thing they've done on these Kuhn mowers is this hexagonal piece has 4 bolts underneath. Let's see if I can show that to you. So you can slide the mower over on those hexagonal pieces. Now you may see that I've got mine slid over to the right quite a bit. I don't know if you can't just tell in this picture. I've got it slid over quite a bit. If I go over it much further, my quick hitch isn't going to line up real well. But this tractor's set out pretty wide. On a narrower tractor, you could bring that. You have a few inches of variance there. And another thing to know about these things is the belt. You have a belt under here. It's I believe a 4-rib, pretty good sized belt under here. And here's your tension for that. And it may need adjustment. I'm trying to remember. I think it may need some adjustment actually, because I think you tighten it up. I'm glad I saw that. I think you tighten it up to this spacer touches, I believe is the measurement. And looky there, I found my own maintenance thing I need to do. I need to tighten this belt up to where it touches this spacer. I'm pretty sure I'll have to check the book before I do it again. And the last and probably the easiest adjustment to make is the cut height. So I like to run my cutter bars about level. We're still on these blocks, but as you'll see, the cutter bed is about level. So I ended up with, I don't know, 2-inch cut, something like that. The way to adjust that on a 3-point is real simple. You just adjust the top length. Make the top length shorter, brings the cutter bar down, makes you cut closer, bring the top length longer, tilts the cutter bar back. I like to run it about level. The reason I like to run it about level is that it still goes over sticks and other debris. One time I was out of adjustment because I adjusted the top link back to get hooked up. It was sitting on unlevel ground. I ran it out a little bit to hook up and didn't realize it. And then started trying to push over the hay and didn't cut worth a darn. And did a whole field before I figured out what the issue was. If you cut too short, you start hitting dirt, debris, other stuff. I run mine about level. That works the best for me. I really hope that's answered some of the main questions I had on that other video. People leaving comments on these mowers. There's just not a lot of information out there on how they hook up or what does what and so forth and so on. So if you have anything I didn't cover, most of the questions were about the chain or this and that. If you have anything I didn't cover, would you please leave me a comment and hopefully I can answer that for you. And And as I said, most of this stuff was for my Kuhn. A lot of it's probably going to work for your Krone, your Massey, your other brands as well. I think most of these might be designed a little different, but same basic concept. So if there's anything I can help you with, got any questions, leave a comment. And come back. I'm going to put another video out. I'm going to try to make this a 2-part series. And I'm going to say why I went to a 3-point mower over the disc bind, pull type disc bind I had. And I'll tell you, I like this 3-point a lot more for several reasons. Appreciate you staying to the end. Appreciate your support and for watching Machinery D. Come back for another video. Thank you. Bye.